Hello, everybody. I'm glad to see you today. We're talking about the supply chain bottleneck, which is affecting Germany and France and Italy. And here we have Harald from Germany. Welcome. Paola from Italy and Bertrand from France. First question goes to you, Harald. In June and July of this year, globalise conducted an international supply chain bottleneck study with 600 top managers. What are the key findings and how is the situation right now?
Thank you, Enrico. We expected already that the supply chain has a major impact on the economy, but we didn't know the relevance, and we were really surprised. 97% of all 600 top managers told us that the supply chain bottleneck has a major, even a critical impact on the economy. This is a very, very tough result. And we also learned that asking the three biggest challenges for companies, that the cost increase due to sourcing is a major issue. We also learned that the lost sales, which is the consequence out of the reason that you cannot supply, has certainly a major impact. And we also learned that the substitution of raw materials is something which you cannot change within days or weeks or even months. Sometimes it takes 2 or 3 or even 5 years. So it's a longer process. And we also learned that the profit slump in project business has a major impact on margin and profitability. So these are challenges we have to realize and we have to face.
Thanks, Harald. How do you experience the supply chain bottleneck in your country, in Italy, Paola, and in France, Bertrand?
In Italy, the crisis of the last 2 years had a severe impact on the Italian economy by affecting companies' financial profiles. And the trend in raw material prices, the lack of raw materials and higher cost of containers, which are some consequences emerging from our study due to supply chain bottlenecks, continue to affect prices production. And according to the study done last June 2022, production price increased by 14.6%, having a negative impact on companies' profit margins, which are further eroded by the cost of energy. The future scenario is worsening here in Italy. 54% of companies foresee a contraction of production activity. The 4% run the risk of interrupting the production, and 12% foresee a reduction in investments activity. These are just few numbers of the Italian situation.
How severe is the situation in France?
Yeah, thank you for the question, Enrico. So I would say that the situation in France is quite contrasted. For sure, the automotive industry, for example, is struggling, but on the other hand, the cosmetic industry is struggling to manage the growth. In the perfume, for example, you have double-digit growth in 2022, so they are to manage that. We also have to manage the shortage on the workforce, whatever the level, whether you are a worker or general manager, companies are struggling to hire that kind of, every kind of people, every kind of talents. That's a real subject. And the last subject, I would say, is a project to relocate manufacturing facilities in France to increase our independence, for example, in the health industry.
Okay, and what needs to be done to improve the situation, Bertrand? How can globalise support its customers in this regard?
Yeah, I think we have a chart in the survey on that subject, or exactly that one. Thank you, Enrico. So you can see the first line, which are quite obvious for everybody. I mean, changing the suppliers, managing the cost increase, and the inventory, for example. The supply chain guy, they hate to increase inventory, but sometimes you have to. I would like to insist on the interfunctional planning. So I mean, I would translate that in the S&OP process, sales and operational planning, which is very important in these moving and turbulent times to increase the contact between the different departments in the company, sales, marketing, the manufacturing, the purchasing, and the general management, to make the right arbitration between short-term and long-term subject and management of the different issues. And so you have also to increase the frequency of the contact between you and your customers and between you and your suppliers, because things are moving and turbulent. You have to be very close together manage that situation.
Okay, we had also another chart regarding on how long it will take until we will have finished the supply chain bottlenecks. How long do you think it will take for supply chains to stabilize again, Paola, in Italy?
I think it depends on the business sector, but no less than 18, 24 months.
And you in France, Bertrand?
Yeah, I would say the same. I think things are still moving. So we have good news, like the shipping costs from Asia, which are decreasing a lot, which is good news. But some other things maybe get worse, so we don't know.
Okay, we'll see. I hope we'll get some more good news. Thanks a lot for having you here on the Globalized conversation. Paola, it was a pleasure. Bertrand, Harald, thanks for having you here.
Thank you. Everybody.
Bye then.
Thank you very much. Bye.
Bye-bye.